Walking and you suddenly feel bad, try to remember, did you ever feel good?
Good morning, BBs.
Hi, good morning. It is
Oh,
good to see you.
Goodness, it is too early.
It certainly is. I didn't get enough sleep. Did you?
Has anyone ever gotten enough?
Did you ever feel good?
Have I ever gotten enough? Has anyone ever gotten enough sleep? That's a legitimate question. Bless you.
I have an average that I hit for the show. You know what I
Sure.
mean? Which is not enough for like
No.
human function and like to be a healthy person.
But you're below that average.
But I'm below that average today.
Gotcha. I'm below average every day. My name is Anthony Carboni.
And I'm Saige Ryan.
And this is the first, best, and only morning show in existence.
It's true.
And baby, ain't nobody sleeping.
No.
Ain't nobody ever slept.
When we said that, 3 people in the live studio audience at the exact same time wrote, "What a sleep."
What is it? That's where they come for you. In your dreams.
It's true. Have you ever had sleep paralysis?
Yes. Like, but not as a consistent problem, but I can think of a couple times where brain was awake before body, and I was definitely, oh God, I can't move.
Yeah, I've had it a couple of times. Did you have a sleep paralysis demon?
No.
I did.
What was his name?
I have not given him a name. It's not like as defined as people make a sleep paralysis demon out to be. It's very much just the like inset dread of something is definitively coming through that door right now, and I just can't move out of my bed.
Oh,
You know.
my friends definitely looked like something. She said she said like it looked the same every time.
Mine was shadow and impending dread.
My 2 favorite dwarves.
Hey, Anthony,
Hey, Saige.
we got a bunch of news to get to, of course.
So many news. Look.
But before we get to that news, I have something that I want to show you.
Ooh, before even the news.
Correct. Dictionary.com made a bunch of new additions.
I think I know what you're going to show me.
Well, there were a bunch of words.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if we could together, as a family, everybody, guess some of the words that were put in here.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yes.
I want to make some guesses about what those words might be. So
I know that one of them, the one that's getting headlines everywhere,
is
yeet.
Okay, yes. So yeet has been added to dictionary.com. Now I will ask if you have already seen it and you know what the words are, maybe sit this one out, okay?
I'm gonna avert my eyes from chat,
Okay.
even
yeah.
though they are blindingly
guessing.
brilliant and beautiful.
Uh-huh.
And I want to look at them all the time.
All right.
But I will avert my eyes starting now so I
Okay.
can make clean guesses.
So, this is just someone else's guess. Put it down here. So, tell me. What else do you think made it in
Oh,
there?
I'm supposed to guess the words. You're not gonna. I thought you were gonna tell me definitions of words, and I was gonna try to guess. What
would
they
you
were.
like to do that instead?
I can try to.
I was just thinking if there were any slang words that you think would have made it into dictionary.com off the top of your head. That we've been using a lot.
Simp.
You think simp made it in? Okay.
Was streamer in before?
Probably. I'm
Probably.
gonna say streamer was probably already in.
Gosh, I don't know.
I love a lot of the ones from chat. We'll start pulling chats when you don't have any.
Yeah,
others.
give me. Is one of them sus?
I'm just writing down yours.
Okay.
For now.
Uh,
But sus is something that people in chat were saying a lot as well.
is. I don't know.
Okay.
Here's the problem, Sage, with this game.
Uh-huh.
I'm the oldest man on the internet.
Right. But you're still on the internet.
That's true. And it's like one of those things, it's like studying a foreign language for a while, and then after you haven't in a long time, like you can't speak the language, but if somebody else is speaking it, you understand
it. Yeah.
That's me with internet.
Okay,
If
got
you
it.
say it to me, I'm like, oh yeah, I understand what this means, but I
Yeah.
could not speak in internet if
Right.
I tried.
So, everybody here. Somebody said sheesh.
I think sheesh was already a thing.
Is it?
Yeah, sheesh. Because like even in like old
sheesh,
cartoons, they'd be like, "Oh, sheesh."
Yeah. We got a lot for sus. We
Yep.
had cake. We had in it,
In it,
which is one of my favorites.
I feel like that already had to be at least in England, in the UK. I think cake in relation to a booty. I feel like that must have happened a couple years ago.
You think?
It must have.
Okay, so some of the things that they did add, we'll go through some of the actual like newsy parts. They added a bunch that were in relation to COVID.
Sure.
Things like long COVID, long haul, long hauler in relation to sickness. There were already a lot of COVID definitions in the dictionary. 'Cause
Yep.
Of course, this is,
LA
not
goes back
anything.
to wearing masks
Yeah.
this Sunday. I hope you enjoyed your month of freedom. You did not use it wisely.
They had some technology terms like deplatform and 5G.
Oh. 5G. Okay.
Yeah. Synchronous and asynchronous.
Okay.
But the fun words we have oof.
Oof wasn't in there?
Oof was not in there. We have snack as a sexy and physically attractive person.
Dictionary.com, you're slipping.
We have yeet, an exclamation of enthusiasm, approval, triumph, pleasure, and joy, which is absolutely deeply incorrect.
Yeah, no.
Yeet is not an exclamation of enthusiasm. Yeet is, I would like to yeet myself off of that bridge.
It has been used as like just I have heard it used as an exclamation, but it is rare.
I have only heard it used as an exclamation that someone would do when actively yeeting.
Yeah.
Right, lots of kittens in the live studio audience says yeet is to punt.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Triumph, pleasure, and joy is nowhere near a yeet.
Nowhere near a yeet.
Dictionary.com.
The next one is zaddy. We're also a little behind on this. An attractive man who is also stylish, charming, and self-confident.
Oh.
You're leaving out the entire daddy part of this. Age is a requirement for a zaddy.
It's funny whenever Dictionary.com has to do something that's like mildly sexy.
Yeah.
In a way that is fetishistic. Because they won't do it.
They refuse. They won't let us have it. Y'all.
Y'all wasn't in there?
Y'all was not in the dictionary.
Okay.
Not on dictionary.com at least. Separately, they added you all and use.
Use wasn't in there.
And
Use has been around since gangster times.
And you-uns.
Use guys.
Yeah.
Or little plucky little orphans. Use guys.
In the news release for it, they said sometimes language changes are just for fun. Perhaps these lighter slang and pop culture newcomers to our dictionary reflect another important aspect of our time, a cautious optimism and a brighter mood about the future ahead after a trying 2020. You know how yeet and zaddy just really give you
They're
hope
aspirational.
for the future?
It's like perseverance. It's like one of those posters you see hanging up in a psychiatrist's office or
Yeah.
like outside the HR office of a big company where it's just like perseverance,
I'm going to be honest with you. Zaddy is
drive,
an aspirational goal for both of us.
zaddy,
Right.
teamwork, yeet.
Yeah.
And it's a picture of a kitten hanging onto a branch.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah. Yeet in there.
5 different kittens on 5 different branches.
Right.
Yeet for the kitten on the branch actually may work, depending on how that turns out for the
on a
kitten.
branch and all it says is yeet.
Yeet. Oh my God, I want that.
Somebody make it.
Hey, pixelcircus.com/merch. It doesn't exist.
That's not even our website URL.
You can't
We're
do it.
pixelcircus.party.
Yeah, you can't do pixelcircus.com. Hey, England. We're going to get it. One day, you're going to forget to renew it. And we're going to get it.
I like pixelcircus.party.
Pixelcircus.party is great.
Is pretty good.
But you want to have that .com.
We want to own the .com and I want to redirect it to .party because god damn it, we're having a party. All right.
Do you know I'm my website, anthonycarboni.com, you can get to by entering in kickflip.expert or murder.expert.
I do know that.
It's nothing right now. I haven't had a website in 2 years.
On a website.
I barely shower anymore.
I've noticed.
Wink.
Let's do a show.
Let's do the news. First of all, and I think this is the biggest news. Did we not even have it in? It's such big news.
the first thing.
Oh, there it is. You know what it is? I did the thing that you did. Let's talk about this.
Yesterday
All
was a
my
big day for tech.
troubles.
Seemed so far away.
Now it seems as if they're here to stay.
Yesterday was a big day for tech, and there were two announcements that are a little confusing. There was the announcement of the Steamdeck. Big deal. The
Yeah.
Steamdeck is Valve's new console. Very exciting. But Elgato also released a new Streamdeck. We're going to talk about both.
But first thing that we have to talk about,
Is
the
of
big
course-
boy. And it is a big boy. Oh, we thought
And it
we
is a
fixed
big
it.
boy. Oh, we thought we
Go to my
fixed it.
screen.
It's even
Go to my
worse now.
screen.
It's even worse now.
It's the Steamdeck.
It's the Steamdeck.
It's the Steamdeck.
Steamdeck is a new
Steamdeck.
portable
The
gaming
Steamdeck is a new
console
portable
from
gaming
Valve.
console
Hit
from
up
Valve.
Steamdeck.com.
Hit up
They got all the-
Steamdeck.com.
they-
Okay, I'm just
They
liking
got all
this.
the.
Okay, I'm just liking
Oh,
this
it's the-
shot.
it's the
I
top
like
thing
this.
on
Oh, it's the
Steamdeck.com.
top thing on Steamdeck.com.
Don't you worry.
Don't you worry.
Here I'm Anthony Carboni for Steamdeck.com.
Sure, Anthony.
All the latest. I just want to be able to have the tech stuff up and everything, you know.
Yep.
But there it is.
But there it is.
Oh, we got the echo.
Oh, we got the echo.
Yeah.
Why?
No reason
There's
for that.
no reason for that.
Hold, we'll fix it.
Hold, we'll fix it.
There's literally no reason. It comes back 50% of the time. It adds an extra source.
Steam Deck. So this was rumored a couple months back because there was some code that was leaked that had something for a Steam Boy. This is not a Steam Boy. This is a Steam Man. This is a gamesman.
I wish it was a Steam Boy. I think that would be very, very funny.
I think they should have called it Steam Boy. I think Nintendo is too litigious for that.
It's very big, and they could have called it the Steamboat.
The Steam Gentleman. It's huge. It's 2 inches longer than a Switch. It is half an inch taller than a Switch. And it's the controllers are a little deeper.
Quite a bit heavier.
Yeah, it's about a pound heavier. It's
Anthony?
well, no, wait, it's half a pound
It's
heavier.
half a pound heavier. You
But-
don't...
Huh?
I said it's a big console, so you could call it a Steamboat.
Yeah.
It's very funny. You just blew right past it, Anthony.
I'm sorry.
I need you to at least
Let's go back
acknowledge
to
it.
that.
It's a big console. You could call it a Steamboat.
One more time.
Anyway.
No, one more time.
It's big, it's heavy, it's large. It's a large sun. Steamboat would have been a more accurate name.
Hey!
Thank you.
This thing is fascinating for a number of reasons. First of all, starts at $399. There are three models: $399, $529, and then a big chonker boy for $649. And the price point is interesting because the internals are interesting. This runs on RDNA 2. It's the big AMD platform. This is a custom version of their RDNA 2 chip that was made just for Steam. And it looks to be using a lot of what we would consider failed Steam tech, right?
Yeah?
The Steam controller tech is in there.
Yep.
The obviously the Steam box, all of the technology that they made for those standalone Steam boxes.
Yep.
But it has Steam's sort of hands-on, hands-off policy that they put on all their hardware, right? They want to design the perfect hardware almost like as a reference platform. They want other people to do this too.
Yeah.
And we've seen stuff like this. Like, you know, we've looked at Kickstarters for things like this before, and certainly you know that I'm obsessed with handhelds.
Yes, you are.
And things like the Aya Neo or the 1X player, the GPD Win Max, there has been a market for these like handheld PCs,
Yeah.
but they're always around like $1,000.
Yeah.
So Valve is like, no.
They want to make it consumer level. And they've done so. I mean, it's less expensive than your Xbox or your PlayStation 5, but it is significantly more expensive than your Switch. So
About
I have to
$100.
wonder where that market is, and that's starting.
Yeah, and that's the starting one. We
Base
should
level.
say, so let's talk about the three different versions of this thing here. $399, $529, $649. They're sort of taking that mobile phone / mobile electronics model of charging you for more storage.
Yep.
But there's also an SD card slot, and you can put whatever you want on it.
Right.
So you can get a 512 or a terabyte SD card for this thing.
Yeah, for like the highest price one at $649, you also get exclusive virtual keyboard theme.
Steam community profile. The one thing that I think is nice on it
Carrying case.
is the anti-glare etched glass. Mm-hmm. That I think is nice, and it's a bummer that they don't have it on all 3 models.
That should just be on all 3 models.
It should just be on all 3 models.
That is like feels like this weird intentional withholding of it so that they would have a reason to make that price point.
Well, the thing that stuck me is like, obviously they want to have the talking point of starts at $399, but for $399 you get eMMC internal storage, which is significantly slower than the NVMe. Now, the only thing that's really good that really should affect are your load times, but it might affect them a lot. We don't know.
Yeah.
And then also you're going to have to buy an even bigger SD card to make up for that lack of storage. So you're going to have to decide sort of how. And then for the $549, they give you like a case for it too and a couple extra things. But the thing that I think is interesting about this is it, of course, runs SteamOS, which is Steam's version of Arch Linux.
Yep.
And they say you can play anything. It's a PC. You can play anything you can play on Steam. You can install whatever software you want that you can install on a PC. Here's the thing about SteamOS. Only about 15% of the current Steam library, there's something like 56,000 games on Steam. Only 15% of them run on Linux. The Linux version of Steam.
Yeah.
Now, there are some surprising ones in there. You can play just about all the Assassin's Creeds, all the Ubisoft stuff. You can play...
you see Control on there. You see Hades. You see Doom.
Yeah. The Rockstar stuff, which is huge, right? To be able to play Red Dead handheld on this thing. That's great. Valve is trying to push this handheld the same way they were trying to push Steam boxes to sort of get more people to develop for Linux and SteamOS.
Yes.
Before Valve released Steam boxes and SteamOS about 10 years ago, 10 years ago at this point, I don't know. They failed. They're gone. But micro form factor gaming PCs are not gone, which is what they wanted. But only about 2% of the Steam library at that point supported Linux. Yeah. So they have made some progress.
They have pushed that progress, but it's been quite a few years, and they're only up to...
But the Steam library has also increased exponentially.
True.
So it's a big deal. Proton is the name of their sort of middleware that they make available to game developers, and anybody can take their game, add Proton to it, and then it will run on Linux, and they're hoping more people do that. Something that's very interesting, you will be able to install whatever operating system you want on it, though. You could throw Windows 10 on this if you wanted.
Right.
You could throw whatever you wanted, play whatever games you want. Something that I think is very interesting, though, and this is something that you want to be aware of if you play a lot of online multiplayer stuff, there are currently no anti-cheat platforms that support Steam Proton. So you can play Red Dead, but you can't play Red Dead online. You can play GTA 5, but you can't play GTA 5 online. No Overwatch.
Interesting.
No Destiny. No Apex. So if you play any of that sort of thing that requires anti-cheat, you're going to need to wipe this thing and put Windows on it. Kind of cool. That they give you the opportunity to put Windows on it, but let's be aware of the things that Valve isn't saying when they say this is a PC and you can do anything you want on it.
Yeah, I definitely think that that's good to know. Where I've ended up landing on this is I have a few things that I'm quite skeptical about. One is it looks like a fucking Wii U to me. And I do find that extremely disturbing.
It's huge.
It's massive. It really is. It's massive. I think about holding my original Switch, and as is, like, it's getting to that point where you're like, it's portable.
It's long, though.
But, like, this is a really fucking long console. The touchpads here, which are used to be in place for games that don't really enjoy a controller or don't accommodate a controller, so you can use that like a mouse. I'm not going to do that.
I don't know. I think it's kind of cool. I'd have to get my fingers on it because I can imagine using the or the joystick for movement, but then using that right mouse pad for aiming and mouse look.
Yeah.
Because maybe it'll be a little more sensitive, but I don't know.
Maybe
it feels weird.
Obviously, the rest of your controls are rather high up. The only video that I've seen of it comes from IGN, and it was in a man's hands that were relatively large.
Bo Moore, friend of the show, friend of me. I don't know if Bo knows the show exists.
I've never
but he's
met him.
executive editor of IGN. Bo is about my size. I think he has longer fingers,
Yeah.
but he's about my size. I'm a compact gentleman, and it did look pretty big in Bo's hands, but it didn't look like he was uncomfortable.
And then I look at these.
The little thingies.
And we are constantly reminded that no technology and almost nothing in this world other than, I don't know, mascaras are built to accommodate women and the sizes
Pink
of women.
razors.
Oh, thank you. They cost more.
They make them rounder for your dumb lady fingers
because
you can't.
pads on them because we're afraid we're gonna cut
Yeah, you can't
ourselves.
hold them with your lady hands because you have no
Yeah.
grip strength.
Yeah, that's it. And it's what you pay more for that.
Yeah, of course you do.
Accommodations. Nothing is continually made for women, and I look at that and I'm just like, I have small hands. That's actually going to be rather difficult for me to play on. The controls being up high, I mean, they mention in the IGN video, which again, I'm really looking forward to a video that is not shot in the Valve studios, because there's only so much you can say when you are doing an early preview in collaboration and to announce it with Steam. That's not inherently going to be the most unbiased interview.
No.
They were
That's a friendly. That's like inviting friends. They're
Exactly.
inviting friendly media, and they're giving
course.
them an exclusive in exchange for a little bit of control over the coverage. We know this.
Right. So when he was speaking about it, Bo, he mentioned that it is a little weird, but not unmanageable, and he got used to the buttons being up high. I'm curious what someone would say when not in Valve Studios about that. The button placement is definitely odd for me. I think that there is a lot of wasted screen space potential. I'm just seeing so much wasted space over here in these areas that I'm just like, couldn't you have maybe moved things around a little bit? And in the way that the Switch has, you could have put the ABXY and the joysticks on top of each other, and you would have had all this wasted space down around the sides.
Yeah, and I think the reason for that is the accommodation of those touchpads, like you're talking about, because so many Steam games that people are going to want to play are mouse-only games. They don't have controller input, and so I think they prioritize those touchpads, and I think that controller is going to live or die by those touchpads.
I think so as well. Flannel Fries in the live studio audience said the B button is practically on the side. I mean, if you look where it's landing, it's already where the controller is curving outwards.
Here's Black Panther.
Thank you.
There's Bo. There's Bo holding it in his hands. And it doesn't. I'll say this: it looks bigger in the product photography.
Yeah.
They did their best to make it look small in the product photography, but they just couldn't.
Yeah.
It looks smaller in someone's hands and thinner in someone's hands than it does in the product photography.
Yeah.
But it is big. I'm not going to tell you that it's
I'm
not
telling
big.
you, it looks like that dude's got big hands to me.
I'm telling you, he doesn't. And that's
hand.
not an insult to Bo.
Look at my hand.
Yeah. So, okay. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it's big. It's chonkers. I don't even we've talked about how I don't even like putting my Switch in a travel bag sometimes because it's long.
Yeah.
It's like bringing a second laptop.
Right.
But, man, I do think, there are a lot of people right now that are looking for something like this. And I was wondering if there were. And then I went and I looked at reactions all day yesterday.
Yeah.
And people are fucking hype. I think this is one of those things where it was a niche market that people weren't paying attention to because all of these handhelds were like $900, $1,000. And now that it's $399, people are looking at it like, well, I don't have a Switch, and I was gonna buy a Switch OLED this holiday.
Right.
But for an extra $100, I'll just play my entire Steam library instead.
Well, yeah.
I mean, because listen, day one, people are going to be wiping this thing. They're going to be putting Windows on it.
Right.
Valve isn't talking about that, but they are very good about making drivers and things like that available.
Yeah.
I have a feeling this will be recognized as an X input controller on Windows, probably pretty much automatically. They haven't said that, but...
Wrong laptop. I want to go back to the larger one here because the zoom out on this is you can see the size well, I think.
Yeah. So there it is. It's big. It's a long boy.
And you can see like kind of again like where the B is really all the way over to the edge there.
But so much of my little brain is just squealing. She's playing Disco Elysium.
Right.
On
and
a
like,
handheld.
I'm very excited about the technology. I'm absolutely thrilled about it. I hope that this is the thing again that makes this a more accessible price point and other companies are able to develop around it.
There are a lot of people right now that are hyped up in this sort of like handheld and DIY handheld community.
Yeah.
Because this thing was supposed to be announced, an Android console is being handheld is being announced. It's going to be $200 and potentially play. In the community, it's mostly like for retro and emulation in the community that I follow. And they're excited because it's going to potentially be able to run a GameCube emulator full speed.
Yeah.
Well, this is definitely going to do that.
Yeah.
This will play PS2, maybe even PS3, some PS3.
Yeah, I think that would be interesting, and I would love to see that. It is something I would love to get my hands on, if I can manage to get my hands around it. It is, I think, a good start. What I hope from here is to see whether it's Valve or other companies, but Valve has the support and the budget that independent companies don't to mass produce something this large.
And
I hope that it means that there's going to be more iterations to come of the Steam Deck where it gets more compact, where the technology gets a little more simplified and accessible.
I think this is the only official Steam Deck we ever see.
You think?
I do. I think this is going to be like the Valve Index. I think this is something where here's what a VR headset should look like, and should be able to do. We've built the software and the platform for you. Mm-hmm. Now you go make a VR headset. We've spent years imagining this for you to create the reference hardware, because if you make a VR game, even if people buy it on their own headset, you're going to go through our store.
Yeah.
That's what this is all about, right? Valve doesn't care if you put Windows on this, because you're putting Windows on it so you can buy more Steam games.
Yeah.
They want people to pick this up and run with it, because they looked at this handheld market and they said, there's something to this, especially you install Windows on this thing, you're also going to be able to play Game Pass on this.
True.
You're going to be able to do all the game streaming you want on this.
Yeah.
So storage, like as game streaming technology gets even better, storage becomes a little bit more moot.
Right.
But I don't think Valve wants to get into the process. They've already said that they're losing a ton of money on this.
They have said that. That's true.
And they don't care about attach rates. Like Gabe said, Gabe came down from his mountain looking like a fucking caveman that somebody unthawed and put into a fancy dress shirt. I swear to God, they bought that dress shirt that day and drove it to the office and made Gabe put it on. Didn't it just look like a brand new out of the bag dress shirt? He was just like, please don't make me come down from my $1 billion cabin in the sky wherever I live. And he came down, he was like, look, we're losing a lot of money on this, and we're not thinking about it in terms that other companies think about, where in order to make back this hardware, we need to attach X, Y, or Z number of games to it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nintendo sells a Switch, they barely make any money, but they go, if we attach 2 or 3 games to that, we're good.
We're golden. Yep.
He's like, we don't care. We want people to pick this up and run with it.
Yeah.
So I think within a year, we won't see another Steam Deck. Mm-hmm. But I think hopefully we'll see, because a lot of these gaming portables are either running Android right now, or they're running a full Intel platform, which is fucking wild and expensive.
Right. That's what puts it at that $1,000 price point. Harry referenced the docking feature. The docking is really interesting. That's a way that I could see myself personally using it.
Yeah.
As somebody who, like, where we are right now. I'm in the shed behind my house. Mm-hmm. We're in the fancy shack, of course. My gaming PC is here. It is nowhere near where I would have access to sit and at a television and play on my couch. But
Yeah.
I could take my Steam games to my couch then, in theory. When I look at Steam games, the games that I would want to play on it are games for me a lot of the time that are already on Switch, because when you get into that smaller, compact screen, I want things that are optimized for it, that are kind of like bright and colorful and don't need a ton of detail. So I look at the games that I play that are like already on portable console.
Sure.
But in that docking feature, I could see myself using it a little more. I'm very intrigued.
Yeah, I mean, imagine all the little indie games on itch.
Yeah.
It's like, it's an indie game portable. It's a classic gaming portable.
Yeah.
The docking is great. And the other thing about the docking is when they were like, well, is the dock going to be available at launch? They're like, no. And they're like, well, do you know the price of the dock? No, not yet. And they're like, well, what's going on with the dock? And they're like, It's got like USB-C 3. They're like, you can go buy any dock. It'll work.
It'll
like
work.
we promised. Just go
Right.
buy
They're
there's-
not being like, wait for ours, we'll sell you
Yeah,
proprietary.
they don't care. They're just like, you just buy a USB-C dock. There's so many on Amazon. There's so many good ones.
Yeah.
And it's like-
they do specify here, it says the official dock props up your Steam Deck while connecting to external displays, wired network, USB peripherals, and power. You can also use a powered USB-C hub if you've got one lying around. More information coming soon.
I got my my JumpGate dock, which was my third-party Switch dock, which third-party Switch docks will fry the Switch.
Yeah.
Even the JumpGate hasn't yet, but it's the only one that hasn't yet. So it's just sitting there waiting for a USB-C thingy to be plugged into it.
Right.
I don't know. This thing goes on pre-order at 10 a.m.
Yes.
when we're done with the show.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, there are two things I could potentially reserve today with that money.
Okay.
The Steam Deck
Yeah.
or the 12-foot tall Home Depot skeleton.
Oh, it's skeleton season.
It's skeleton day, baby. It's skeleton day, babies.
That's a
That's
a
long.
12-foot skeleton, and the Steam Deck is only 11 feet long.
Right. I would love to know, are any of you reserving the Steam Deck?
Or a giant skeleton?
Or a giant skeleton? The skeletons do go on sale. I will always say, if we're going to reference Home Depot, that the CEO of Home Depot is a nightmare monster trash person, but I'm probably still going to buy a 12-foot skeleton if I can.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it right here outside of the shack.
Yeah. I mean, you've got space for
It
one
could
now.
look in the windows. Just,
You didn't have space for one before. Now
Right.
you do. Oh my
So-
gosh, to have a giant skeleton looking in the window at us every day. Ugh, the dream.
going for the Steam Deck today? Yes. Steam Deck? Yes. Skellyman? No. Okay. So y'all are reserving the Steam Deck today. Okay.
Now,
Passing
here's
deck.
now here's the nice thing about the Steam Deck reservation policy that I will say.
Uh-huh.
It's $5,
Yep.
which is fully refundable if you decide you don't want a Steam Deck.
Yep.
They will let you know before it releases December 21st. They'll let you know before they're about to charge you. They'll tell you when you've reached your place in the queue, and they'll be like, hey, did you still want a Steam Deck?
Yeah.
So I think for $5, I'm going to reserve one. Probably the cheapest one. I'm going to roll the dice on that slow storage.
Interesting.
Because $399,
It's a big price jump from there.
yeah, it is a big price jump.
Like,
and
I wish that from $399 it went up just a little less than $530.
oh, yeah.
Like, that's a jump.
It's a jump.
I mean, the differences between this concerns me.
The eMMC and the NVMe, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, eMMC is like the Switch storage that you have on the inside of the Switch.
Right.
It's not a slow storage. It's a hard drive. It's a little faster than a spinning hard drive, a 7200 RPM hard drive. So,
Right. But if we're specifically looking at this of we can do things on this that the Switch cannot.
yeah. But I think that's going to be... Yeah, and the other thing is like most of your games on the 64 gig model are running off of an SD card, which is even slower. So I mean, like, I'm going to put the $5 down because it doesn't hurt to put the $5 down.
Yeah.
And the other nice thing about it is you have to have a valid Steam account to put it down. So they're trying to eliminate scalpers
Yeah.
and resellers because you only get one per Steam account.
Yeah.
So it's low risk, and hopefully we'll see more press about it.
Right.
And I'll keep my $5 down.
Yeah. I look forward to the first reviews of just a human person having it in their hand and not Valve themselves.
Chris Comp says, I wonder if you could add storage through a USB-C dock. They have said yes. Any USB-C peripherals that'll work with a PC will work with it. They're being very open. It's a very open platform. I think that's the thing that I'm most interested in about it is above and beyond anything. It is a new weird form factor PC. And I want to see what people do with it.
I want to see what people do with it too. Honestly, I do think it's genuinely very exciting. I do have one article here. This was the internet's reactions to the Steam Deck. And for the most part, they were very good. But I just wanted to show this one right here. Incredibly thrilled to check out Valve's new Steam Deck today.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay, so last night, or yesterday after the announcement happened, I was like, yo, Steam Deck got announced. And And Saige was like, I was like, yeah, it's handheld portable. You're going to be able to play like blah, blah. And I sent her a link to it. And she was like, why would Streamdeck make one of these?
Because, okay, you didn't type the word Steamdeck at all, and I hadn't been online because I had been streaming. I had just gotten done with the show, so I hadn't seen any of the announcements. It was just the link to the website, it was steamdeck.com. So in the little just like loading website thing in our texts, my brain just completed that as the word it knows.
Yeah, and then I had not heard about the Elgato announcements yet because this was yesterday morning. And so we were both just like texting back and forth at each other. But like, it was one of those moments where we were both clearly like, no, what do you mean?
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 No, somebody's missing something here, and I don't know which
And it
one of
was
us it
both of
is.
us.
It was both of us.
Yeah, because I was like, what the fuck? Like, Elgato's making a console out of nowhere? A big old fucking handheld?
I mean, Elgato is Corsair.
I do feel like calling it a Steam Deck was a
Steam
weird
Deck
move.
was weird.
Calling it a Steam Deck was a weird move.
It should have been it should have just been a Steam Man. Steam Man.
People, somebody in comment.
Game Boy Small, Steam Man Large.
Somebody in the live studio audience earlier called it the Gabe Gear.
Called it what?
The Gabe Gear.
The Gabe Gear. Very good.
Like, you could have called, like, you know about the Stream Deck. You have to.
Yeah. But they don't care, baby.
I know they don't care. It's fine.
They don't care, baby.
It's just like, I'd love it to have a more, I don't know, interesting name. But speaking of that confusion, let's get into the Elgato stuff. Steam Engine, I think, would have been great.
Oh, that would have been fun.
That would have been great.
What about that? What about the, hey, everybody. It's so big, it could have been called the Steamboat.
See? You're getting it.
Felt good to say it.
Right?
Felt good to say it.
Yeah.
You're right. That was
And
good.
imagine if I didn't respond.
I mean,
Heartbreaking.
it happens.
A real weekend ruiner.
Sometimes I'll drop a thing and you move on.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry.
Hey, thank you. That's growth on both of us.
Well, no, you didn't apologize yet.
No, I refuse to. That's not how I'm growing today. I'm sorry.
Yay!
I'm
okay.
sorry. I'm sorry that I did not respond to your very good joke that you were proud of.
Thank you, Anthony.
I apologize.
We're doing it, y'all.
We're doing it.
All right. Elgato dropped 9 new things yesterday. It was a big, big announcement day for Elgato. Unfortunately, outside of the streaming community, it didn't really matter, and it did get buried a little bit by the Steam Deck announcements.
Yeah. It's the wrong day to announce a Stream Deck.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Oopsie whoopsie. They did a fucky wucky. So let's just
jump right into it.
these are some of the things that were announced. Now, the Wave XLR is a very, very interesting product to me. This is a XLR mic interface that gives you the technology that the Wave 2 had access to, but to put any mic on. The Wave 2 is, of course,
I believe
a
it's
US...
Wave 3. Wave 1 or Wave 3 is what they're called.
Oh, sorry, is it Wave 3 mic?
Yeah, it's weird. They
It's not
skipped
one,
it.
but yeah,
They have a
Wave
Wave
3.
1 and a Wave 3.
Really?
Yeah.
Was that a Wave 2? Am I crazy?
No, Wave 3.
Huh.
It's super weird.
Anyways.
Yeah, they want you to know that the expensive one is 2 more better.
Yes, of course. They saved Wave 2 for Steam. So, it's about the same size as a Stream Deck, which I actually find really interesting. That was a great comparison for me. It's an XLR interface. The thing that's really, really interesting with this is you get access to the Wave software, which people fucking love for their Wave mics. The Wave mic in itself is a perfectly okay mic.
Yeah.
The software that it comes with is very good. And Elgato's done a good job with software in general.
Elgato is doing this really interesting thing where they are becoming the lifestyle brand for streamers.
Uh-huh.
And they are looking at these other companies that have done this sort of integrated hardware and platform thing, and they're really taking it to heart. Like you're saying, the mic is nothing special.
Yeah.
But to have audio management, hey, we were just doing double audio on you.
It's hard.
Audio management in OBS is a weird and funky thing.
It
is a little goofy, and for them to make something that just makes that mic sing, and it doesn't work with any other mic. You got to plug an Elgato mic in for it to be recognized, I think.
No.
In the software.
Previously.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was only available with the Wave.
So you
previously.
can't use that good software that works for streamers for routing, for ducking, for noise management.
Right. Let's say I have a really nice XLR mic that I would like to utilize, but instead of having to reach over and control it from my interface itself, I just want to pop in while I'm streaming and do a little adjustment.
Yeah. So, but and so the Wave mic, you'll see it everywhere now, and people really love it. We use pretty expensive mics that we already own,
Yep.
but I want Wave.
Yeah. I would like the Wave software.
I want Wave.
Now, something that Anthony brought up earlier was this is a single input.
Mm-hmm.
I see that being the introduction. My guess is in the same way they've done with like now their capture cards, that this is the next Wave will be like a Wave XL, XLR.
Yeah, it'll be an XXLLR.
Yeah. That's my guess. What they did with the
It'll be like playing an ocarina song in a Zelda game.
So my guess is they start here because an individual streamer and most people on Twitch do not use multiple mics.
I know, and this is the so this
We're
is
a unique case.
This is $160. It has one XLR input, no other inputs. It has a detachable faceplate. It has, they say, up to 75 decibels of clean gain. It's made to run expensive microphones.
Yeah.
$160 is not expensive when you compare it to like a Duet, an Apollo, something like that. But
Right.
man, I would love to see two inputs. That's
Yeah.
all. You know, a Scarlett, you're looking it up right
Yeah,
now. The
I'm looking at the
Scarlett
Scarlett.
2i2.
Yeah, what the standard is for that is about $170.
Yeah, I use a Behringer, which was about $150 and has 4 inputs.
Yeah.
It's
A Scarlett is a very, very common like entry-level interface.
and that's $169. You get the two instead
Yeah.
of the one, which is nice,
But
but
most people won't use that, and would
it's-
rather allocate those funds towards something more functional for them.
and that's gonna be easy to manage during your stream.
The thing is, as long as there have been streamers, there has been finagling equipment to do what
Since
you
the
need to
dawn of streamers,
do.
in the days before recollection,
Mm-hmm.
when the world was new. Do you remember having to set milliseconds of audio delay manually for every single microphone you ever plugged in to OBS? Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Because we still do that. Anyways. What? Now that was the worst. That was the far furthest
I think it's
off.
the same one I did. Didn't I do it before?
I don't know.
Anyways.
As I was saying, I think it was Ronan or Ahmad asked. I'm sorry. I don't mean to confuse you both. I love you both. It's
Somebody
Corsair. It
asked.
was Ronan. I was right. Is Corsair becoming the Apple? Just buy a thing that already works. Yes, to some extent. I think that they are currently a little more innovative with their software. I mean, you have Apple's operating systems, I guess, to compare it to, which is interesting. But the thing is what I was saying, as long as we have been streaming, you've had to finagle things that are not made for you. These interfaces are made for audio gear people that are recording with, fancy mics for music.
Yeah.
You're
The
always
better the mic is, the worse it sounds out of the box.
Right. You're always finagling this equipment to work for you, and it's gone from webcams to needing to upgrade to better and better equipment, but this equipment is simply not made for us.
And
it's like if you want to use a nice camera. Okay, we need a capture card. Okay, we can run it through a capture card. Okay,
But you need a capture card with multiple ports because you probably also want a capture card for a game system. You probably want like...
So where I see Elgato fitting in here in a way that is not just Apple-like and not just buying things that exist, but is making things that out of the box allow us to upgrade streaming equipment as equipment for streaming. It is actually proprietary, meant for that purpose.
And I think...
Which is cool.
It's very cool, and I don't think, more directly to that question, I don't think Corsair is becoming Apple. Elgato is the Corsair brand that they want to be Apple. Corsair still has their own vibe and their own thing going on. Corsair is still build your own thing.
Right.
Build your own thing because you're techie and build your own thing. Elgato is their lifestyle brand, and I think that's a very smart move for Corsair.
The next thing we have here,
This is the thing that I'm the most excited about.
which I was surprised by, this is the Wave mic arm.
Mic
It's a
arms
suspension
suck.
boom arm.
Every mic arm sucks. and they suck for streamers. They after a month or after like 6 months, they make the creaky spring
God,
noise.
that one's so bad.
They get loose, and not only that, they don't comfortably go over monitors. They have 2 arms that are coming out today. Number 1 is meant to go over a monitor if you want to hang like a more kind of compressor mic
Right.
downwards, which a lot of people do for their talking head videos or their streams if you use a shotgun mic. Their second one goes under a monitor. It goes real low profile.
Also, look
fucking...
it opens up to run your cable through it.
Now that's nice.
Oh, that's nice.
A lot of them just come with the clippies.
That's some just unnecessary luxury that I love.
But, I had a Rode arm that did that, but it was very expensive. I'm very excited for this.
These are $99, which is still expensive
It's
for
still
an arm.
expensive. I mean, I think I paid $50 for mine.
Right.
But I hate it. Every day I hate it. I hate it every day.
Yeah. Cynical Brit in the live studio audience said, also, you need to buy a camera that outputs clean video with no info on the screen. You need a dummy battery, lots of lights, the right lens, a stand. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
if you're, the more you want to go up, the more you can.
Yeah.
I still say the same thing that I used to say when I did YouTube. I tell people about Twitch. Start with what you got.
Yeah.
Don't not start because you only have a webcam and a USB mic or something.
Yeah.
And you can, there are a lot of people that get extremely popular and never upgrade from that stuff.
Yeah.
Look at Hasanabi. Hasanabi is just using a fucking Logitech, and he's doing political streams every day for 50,000 people.
Yeah.
He's fine.
It's about the content. Absolutely.
It's about what you want. I think, but I think the other thing that's interesting is I noticed myself saying, this is better than my mic arm. I wish this had 2 XLRs. And I noticed that because they're going lifestyle brand and because their tech and their software integration is good, they're moving into that Razer territory where a lot of people who are video editors or animators buy Razer laptops because they are gaming laptops, but they've got good internals and they're built well.
Yeah.
And so it's like, well, I'm not a gamer, but if I cover up this glowing green Hydra logo,
And they've done such a good job of not making glowing green Hydra logos.
if I'll buy a skin or something,
Right.
and then this actually works way better for video editing than a lot of other laptops at the same price point.
Right.
And Elgato's getting there.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of things that you can buy skins for, the next announcement that we got was the Streamdeck MK2, not to be confused for the Steamdeck. Totally different. However,
Now this comes in 3 storages.
not totally different from the Streamdeck. Relatively similar. If you take a look at it, we have our little Streamdeck right here. We love it. We use the hell out of it. It is the tool that made the biggest difference for me as a streamer.
It's
And when I
amazing.
think of all my streaming tools, the one that I find the most necessary for what we do specifically as running shows, the Stream Deck is fucking revolutionary for me.
I used to work in a kitted out television studio, and the Stream Deck is easier and more flexible than most of the television switchers I worked with.
Yeah.
Like it's just so easy.
Yeah.
That's the other reason why Elgato is sort of like coming up everywhere. Is people are like, why wouldn't I use this for everything?
Yep, absolutely. So the new one, for the most part, one of the largest differences is just in the hardware itself. One is a detachable cable to it.
Thank
it's
God.
Detachable. It's USB-C, right?
Yeah.
A detachable USB-C. This one is not detachable,
Fucking-
which means I cannot run it very far from my computer without an extender. Extenders are obnoxious.
That's also just another fail point for the hardware too.
Yep.
Just
Exactly.
another fail point for the hardware.
So I'm very excited about that. I think that's really great. The other thing is the stand, which I'm trying to find a better, there we go, the video of. So it's definitely a flatter device, and it clicks into the stand. I believe the
stand is no longer adjustable. It's at one angle. It's more solid.
it looks like it's definitely a bulkier stand.
Yeah.
But this one's flimsy and falls over all the time.
Yeah.
So this is what.
This is that's like a $4 iPhone stand from Amazon.
From the gas station. Dude.
Yeah.
So this is the current Elgato Stream Deck stand. It has these 2 little pieces if you want to put it at like a low angle, so you'd be high up over it. Or it has this piece here that flips down. But like constantly, even while my Stream Deck is on it, anytime I move it around, it falls and it flattens. It's not a good stand.
It's not a great stand.
It's not. It's sufficed.
It's funny. It's people are asking in the live studio audience, because this is such a streamer focused, or it's considered a streamer focused piece of tech right now. People are like, so this controls OBS settings. Yes.
Yes.
But it will control settings for anything.
Yeah.
That's what's wild about it, is I have a set of hotkeys for when I'm working in like Premiere for it, for like little things that normally don't have easy keyboard shortcuts. You can make it do anything. If you have like if you have smart lights and stuff in your house, you can control them from the Streamdeck.
Yes, you can.
I push a button that says go on my Streamdeck.
Yeah.
My lights turn on.
Yeah.
My PC turns on. OBS opens to the right scene. Like
Right.
it all happens.
Yeah. Looking at just without any of the like plugins that you can add to these, because there are a ton of them. There's a lot of things that you can do in Streamlabs. There are things of just like how we change scenes, right? Like when we're switching back and forth between these is the Streamdeck. But there's one on here where it's like tweet. You can press a button to open up composing a tweet.
Yeah, and it is people are like, oh, so it's a macro board, and it is, but once again, that great thing that comes in that Elgato is really working on is the software.
Yeah.
If you look at the app for this, it's like
It's so easy.
a lot of these macro boards are like, well, program everything yourself, and you can.
Yeah.
Like they're not hard, but they're time consuming. Elgato is really good about putting in a ton of stuff that you're already going to need.
It's accessibility.
Yeah.
Streamers have to do 18 jobs they are not qualified for. We are not inherently people who run tech on a show.
No.
And ideally, you don't have to be.
Yeah, but you can. A lot of people get there.
You get there. I didn't know how to do any of this before I was a streamer. I learned how to do everything that I do out of necessity, because it was like, well, shit.
And now
COVID happened and we run from home.
Now she's a Streamdeck wizard. Look at these Bidoofs. We can call up any Bidoof we want at any time.
I only synced a couple of the Bidoofs.
You didn't have to
I
tell
didn't
them.
think
They
you did
didn't know.
multiple Bidoofs.
You didn't have to tell
I
them.
know,
They didn't know.
I know, but I don't like.
They wouldn't
I'd be
have known.
honest about it. Anyways, so that is the new Streamdeck. There are little customizable faceplates for it. Very cute. Very cute.
On the subject of cameras and lenses and things like that,
Please.
the Elgato Face Cam.
The face cam.
2 buttons.
You got it.
2 buttons.
You got there.
1080p 60 webcam. If you own a webcam and you're using it for streaming, one of the biggest ones right now is the Logitech
C920.
C920. That's what a lot of people use. I've got 1 or 2 of them sitting in a drawer.
Yep. The C920 is great because it's very accessible up until COVID, that is. The C920 runs you about $75. A lot of the time you can get it on sale for around $60. So that's nice.
Yeah.
But the quality is very, very limited.
The quality is very limited, but it was
very
it was,
good for the price.
It was good for the price
It
and
is
good
good for the price.
and good at the time.
Uh-huh.
But once again, one of the hardest frickin' things to do is fix the video quality on that webcam.
Yes.
Because there are manual controls, but they're weird and hidden, and not every app recognizes them, and sometimes the Logitech doesn't recognize them.
The Logitech software is, some people really love it. I have a hard time with it because you're just trying to get something out of a camera that it shouldn't do. It's a $75 webcam. It shouldn't do that. It's
Now-
not built for it, and I don't blame it for that. It is an excellent, still to this day,
Yeah.
nothing has come for the Logitech C920 at the
No,
price point.
it's weird
Nothing.
because it's like, I bought it years ago, and I was like, every time I look, I was like, well, surely there's got to be something that's no, nothing. They came out with one that was a little more gaming and video focused, called, it's weird to say a more video focused webcam, but that's what it is.
Yeah.
Called the Logitech Brio,
Yep.
which is $200, and this is set to take on the Brio.
They also came out with the Logitech Streamcam
Oh,
just
yeah.
like last year, I want to say.
That's right. So
it was
this
$150. It was another 1080p, and it was honestly kind of,
is fine.
it was fine. It was like, to me, not worth upgrading from a C920.
A lot of people, a lot of people in the live studio audience. Yeah, Logitech G Hub is an experience. Tell me about it. The settings don't save.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff. You got to set it every time. This now has this Elgato cam software that lets you granularly change things like your gain, change things like your saturation.
It lets you get into your ISO, which is something that we really haven't been able to access in a webcam.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're getting things that we've only seen access on DSLRs in a webcam.
And that's another funny accessibility thing, right? Is because these webcam interfaces are normally designed by engineers because nobody went into the granular settings for a webcam for the longest time.
Because why would they need to? It's just for Skype, right?
But it's called, in video, it's technically called gain.
Mm-hmm.
It's not called ISO. Mm-hmm. But everybody knows ISO.
Right.
So just put it in there as ISO and let people know what they're talking about. And that's what
I
they're
don't know
doing.
If they saw this screen.
Oh no, bring that up.
But like, this is the software here and somebody utilizing it. But like,
we should note that zoom that's in there for that slider is a digital zoom, but it's still nice for reframing.
Yep.
Right now, if you want to reframe on your webcam, it's a
Adjusting
pain in the ass.
Like, the fact that you can adjust your shutter speed in this is fucking wild.
And if you've got lights set up and your studio is going to be pretty static and standard, you can set these things once and then be like, they're set. But it's also nice to just be able to go in and adjust them, you know? If the white balance changes in your room, change the white balance.
Yeah.
It's good. It's 1080p 60. It's USB-C. It's interesting because the Brio is 4K. Mm-hmm. And I think some things are moving to 4K, but nobody's streaming 4K.
Yeah.
It's good for reframing, I guess. But on a small sensor like that, I think 1080 is all you need.
Right. The next interesting thing... And this one's weird, and
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt. David Bastianson in the live studio audience mentioned something that we totally forgot. There's onboard RAM on the camera.
Yes, which
So
saves your settings locally to it.
It saves your settings to the camera, so you can unplug your camera and plug it into another computer.
And it takes your settings with it.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good. That's another thing that's only been in, like, cameras. I mean, that's worth it for the price of admission alone, I think.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's wonderful.
Very, very interesting. So the next thing I find interesting is this configurator. I'm trying to find a proper link for it.
Oh, yeah, this is interesting. This is it's like an IKEA room planner.
It is.
In your browser, but for setting up a streaming studio and like measuring things and figuring out heights and widths and how it's all going to work.
Right. So choose your environment. Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Right. And then you're done.
Yep. So I can move around in this room and adjust things. So I can go, hey,
put a Streamdeck on the
let me put a Streamdeck XL in here and set it on the desk. I can scope out, all right, if I want one of these flex arms.
How much space does that
right,
take?
How much space does that take? Where can I put it?
Right. That's pretty cool. It's interesting, and I think it'll only get more and more useful.
Paneling I'm putting in.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's a fun toy.
That's cool. They said they built it in Unity.
Yeah,
That's
very
cute.
Interesting.
It's neat. And so you can kind of get an idea of how this stuff is going to work. Like, you can see right there, like, there wasn't really enough room. Everything's looking kind of cramped, even with that little light, you know?
Right.
And so you can sort of figure it out.
Yeah.
Kind of nice.
So this is just something that they launched specifically for streamers.
Lifestyle brand.
Really, really, really just hitting that lifestyle brand. Those were not all of the announcements. They had some new strip lights that they put out. They had another kind of arm that they put out that's a little more static. They had a wall mount for your webcam, which I actually find very interesting, and I literally never would have thought to do with a webcam.
Now, that's a pretty standard mount that it looks like. I mean, I don't know what it's made of materials-wise, but that's a standard mount for actually surround sound speakers.
Yeah.
That they just put like a 1/4-inch thread on. You could do that on Amazon, but I don't know. But maybe theirs is much more quality. I don't know.
It's very interesting because like the traditional webcam setup is to set it on top of your monitor, and then if you get fancy, you get an arm to put it on so that you can have a little more versatility in it. Putting it back on that wall is real nice, actually. I think that's nice.
Yeah. I want to mount more stuff on my wall now. Make more space.
Put everything on the wall.
Just
mount
hey,
it all.
stick everything to the fucking wall, baby.
Throw it at the wall and see what sticks. All right, so that's the overview of all the Elgato news. We've got a little bit of gaming news.
We got a little bit.
We got a little bit to get to at least.
Saige, I'm the oldest man on the internet,
Yeah, of course.
but I'm not so old that I don't play Fortnite every once in a while with my bros.
Okay.
But I am old enough, Saige, that I want to know what's going to happen to my vast Carboni estate when I die. And a huge portion of my financial investment, I put about 80% of my retirement into V-Bucks.
Whew. I was so concerned that you were going to say you put it into Blizzard mystery packs. I got you.
No. No. I talked to a financial advisor, and he said, put it all into V-Bucks. But what happens when I die? How do I leave the V-Bucks to my dog?
Oh, well, 10 cents got you covered. 10 cent just filed a patent. To pass down V-Bucks in the event of your death. Thank goodness, the V-Bucks will be safe. Recently,
This is a nightmare to me.
Recently, Apple started integrating this into things of allowing an administrator access of someone else so that if you die, people are able to access your things.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. There might
Who
be
do you
files on the
trust
computer
to
that you need.
clear your browser history and that one folder on your computer when you die?
Right.
And what's that folder called on your computer, if you don't mind sharing it with us in chat? We're not going to come to your house. I just want to know what everybody calls that folder.
So they've obtained a patent relating to digital asset inheritance that would allow games to pass on in-game items and currency when you die. The timing is fairly coincidental given the Apple digital legacy service. It's probably something on that. We know Tencent and Apple are not friends.
They're not friends.
They're not friends. Tencent's patent is similar, but it allows direct transfer of items if stated in the will, of course, as opposed to an administrator just going in and getting access to it.
Wow.
This actually gives you. They are now someone else's V-Bucks.
Huh. Thank goodness they're thinking ahead. They're thinking about the lifespan, not just of the human being, but of Fortnite itself. I do want to talk about everybody in the chat. There's a lot of people that just say their folder is called random stuff or stuff. Dylan Scott Davis just leaves it as new folder. I think random stuff, everybody knows what that means. Ronan calls theirs, you can't see this. Emperor Chaotic says, my murder victims. Ooh, it's Mark Yem calls their folder Pandora's Box. That's a good one. Spin and Dash, Gentleman's Special Interest Literature. Library books. That's a good one. Grumpy Steen says it would just be called porn because I have no fucks left to give. One's called Taxes. Random Shit. New folder, parenthetical 69. Special tax documents. Mom's recipes.
Do you have fun?
We're all having fun. Are you not having fun? Do you not have a folder?
No, I don't have a folder, Anthony.
Weird.
Sure, Anthony. Anyways, the news.
Tall Fire God says, I call mine the dark side.
We've got a couple more pieces here for you. Mm-hmm. We don't have a ton of time, so we'll get to just the most important ones.
Okay.
We've got a couple of delays. Resident Evil Reverse was supposed to be coming out this month and has been delayed to 2022.
Lol.
They really waited to the last minute to say, JK, no game. Not for you.
I mean, we've had game companies make more last-minute announcements, but this is pre-last minute.
It was originally supposed to launch in April,
Yeah.
of course. It had a beta. People didn't really like it in the beta. They were like, just kidding. We're going to delay till July so we can make you like it. And then July came around and they were like, still couldn't make them like it.
Do you think Reverse comes out?
No. Because I think what part of they realized is that no one wanted it.
Yeah.
I think that it wasn't just that the beta was bad, and it was. I think also there isn't really a market for Resident Evil Reverse, and it didn't catch any interest during the beta, and now they're like, maybe everyone will just forget.
I think they're going to announce some other gigantic big Resident Evil project and then maybe stealth release like a very broken, unfinished version of Reverse just to say that they put it out.
As like a free-to-play.
Yeah. Because I think it was supposed to be free anyway.
Yeah.
So I think they're just going to put it out because they promised, and it'll be bad, but they will make sure that there's something else for Resident Evil fans around the same time.
Right.
So hopefully they don't get much of a whoops.
Yeah. Oopsie. We also had a delay on Ghostwire Tokyo, also delayed into 2022.
Oh, Shinji Mikami.
Look,
Shinji Mikami, I just want your new spooky game.
the panini comes for us all. On the Ghostwire Tokyo Twitter, they said we have made the decision to delay the launch of Ghostwire Tokyo to early 2022. We want to get the game in your hands as soon as possible so that you can experience the unforgettable version of Haunted Tokyo that we have been hard at work building. At the same time, we're also focused on protecting the health of everyone at Tango. Our new release window will give us the time to bring the world of Ghostwire to life as we've always envisioned it. Thank you for being patient as we work to bring you an experience unlike anything else we've ever made. We can't wait to show you more in the coming months.
A Game Developers Association survey that went out recently found that 65% of all studios are reporting massive delays
Yeah.
due to COVID. Like they're all saying no. Our product launches have been incredibly delayed and continue to be delayed.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And I'm concerned about the studios that aren't, honestly.
Yeah.
Because this is clearly somebody that is, to some extent at least, we don't know what's going on internally at Tango, but putting health of their employees before getting the game out on time. And I
Yeah.
do appreciate that very, very much. We can
Exactly.
wait.
People over things.
We can wait. People over things.
People
That's it.
over things, except for this thing.
Oh, this thing over people?
Maybe this thing over people. I don't know. Gundam Overwatch.
Gundam Evolution. It is a 6v6 shooter,
Gundam Overwatch.
and it literally looks like Overwatch.
Saige, what if we took your interests and my interests and put them together into one thing
You
and
get
made
Gundam Overwatch.
a Gundam Overwatch?
Like, there we go. Bastion. Oh, there's a sniper. Interesting.
Robots.
No, Bastion
Right now, this is announced for Japan only.
head. Yeah.
Bring it to America, cowards. I want to play a Gundam Overwatch.
It genuinely looks like remarkably similar to Overwatch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, down to the maps and the placement of different, like, overlays on the screen. It's very interesting.
Except I can be an RX-78 or a unicorn.
You sure can.
So that's that.
That looks very fun. Please, I would love Bring it here. I'll play it.
I'll
Bring
play
it here.
it. And what's funny is like Gundam Evolution wasn't trending yesterday. Gundam Overwatch was trending.
Yeah.
People were just like Gundam Overwatch.
It's Gundam Overwatch, because it is. Speaking of shooters,
Yes.
they're very hard to make.
Yeah,
So hard.
I believe that.
You don't get it.
No, I do.
No!
No, I think video
Glenn
games
Schofield
are.
says you don't get it. You doesn't understand. You couldn't possibly get how hard it is
Oh,
to be a very important CEO making Call of Duty games. Stop. You don't get it.
Glenn.
Please.
I'm sorry, Glenn Schofield is a slab of a man. Just an absolute parallelogram of a boy. Good for him.
In a recent profile with Edge magazine, he said, people nowadays think Call of Duty is, just put through the grinder and another one will come out. They don't realize how much work goes into making a Call of Duty game. There's just a ton of research. You're working with experts. I studied World War II for 3 years.
So did I.
worked
It
with
was called public
historians.
school.
I spent 8 days in a van in Europe going all over places that were supposed to be in the game. I shot different old weapons, Anthony. All these things you have to do when you're working on a Call of Duty game.
Okay, now here's where this article and I diverge. This is where we take two different paths in the woods, this article and I. Does riding around Europe in a van, going to all these cool places sound neat? Yes. Does shooting a bunch of these different old weapons sound neat? I'm sure to a large segment of people, particularly those who play Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
There's something that I do want to say, and I want to clarify. And Sam Maggs tweeted about this yesterday, I believe, when this article came out. Just because a job is cool doesn't mean it isn't work.
Yes.
Just because a job is cool doesn't mean it isn't work, and it is that sort of thinking that devalues creative work to the point where artists can't make any money because everybody goes, but you have fun all day.
I don't think this applies to a co-founder of this. I think that applies to the devs. This
Sure.
is not a dev.
No, but
That applies to the game devs.
Was he alone? Was he alone on this retreat?
No, but it's him saying, well, I had to do this and I had to do that, and not giving the credit to the creative team.
Oh, well,
I had to fire a bunch of old weapons. I shot old weapons in Europe, Anthony.
That is a, I mean,
This
look,
is a man that's making so much money to do
saying
this.
I is a problem rather than we.
And also, it's the amount of money. It's not about the fun. This doesn't sound fun to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not one of those people. Firing guns does not sound fun to me. I'm not like, wow, that's a cool job, so you shouldn't complain about it. It's, you're making so much goddamn money to do it all the way at the very top and taking credit for your job being the hardest. It's
Sure.
the CEOs who are always like, you don't understand
Yeah.
how
but
hard it is to make
I don't think
billions
he's saying,
of dollars.
I don't think he's saying that his job is the hardest, but I do think he is taking a very him-centric view. Like, one thing that the article points out that I do agree with is, like, could have mentioned the QA teams, could have mentioned how, you know, the long hours that everybody works and the number of technical artists and the amount of people that work so hard for so long to make a Call of Duty game.
Right.
But he did only talk about himself.
Yep.
The thing that I specifically have a problem with is this line in here. It's like, what Schofield is talking about here sounds suspiciously like a vacation. Like, fuck right off.
Sure.
Can you have fun on a work trip? Yes. But let's not devalue work. But hey, also, Slabman, Guy Slabman, let's not devalue the work of your team.
Right. Because quite simply, and I think that M. Jason O has a good point in the live studio audience. In the case with these very large companies, which does not apply to small independent businesses, he is the CEO, which means he only does the jobs he wants. To some extent.
Yeah.
So he is choosing to be in the van in Europe shooting the guns. That is a choice.
Was he the CEO? He stepped down.
He's a
He was
co-owner,
the vice president and general manager.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he is choosing
He's
the
still
job
up
he
there,
wants
yeah.
to do. Very much so. So instead of being like, my team was in a van in Europe, having to travel to all of the locations that the game could take place.
Big company, big team, require a big slab of man. No one know how hard to be slab. No one know how
tough.
hard. Tough to be wide parallelogram, and
It's tough to be a wide boy.
it's tough to be a wide boy. Ask Kylo Ren. It's tough. It's tough to be a square cake. There are multiple things going on in this article. Number one is, hey, douchebag, don't be a douchebag. And number two is, hey, Kotaku, you're a game, like, whoever wrote that article, you're a games journalist. You know what a slog it is to do things that sound cool.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Talk about how he didn't mention his team. Don't talk about how he took a fucking fact-finding vacation.
Right. Sure. Absolutely. The other thing is, you ready to play that Super Monkey Ball?
Fuck yeah, I am.
We're very excited for Super Monkey Ball. That is something that might be niche, but I mean, broad enough that they're giving us a new one. We got a new trailer for Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania, Wondrous Worlds trailer. Let's frickin' see it. Let's frickin' see it.
Yes. We love a monkey bill. Give me the monkey ball. Give me the murky berm. There's the classic stages. They're looking beautiful.
I'm so excited to play this. I am excited to have Monkey Ball as a party game again.
Oh, yeah. It's been too long.
As the friends are coming over, what can we couch co-op? It's Monkey Ball, dude.
And there have been a couple games
Really
like on
play.
Steam that have tried to do the monkey ball like, and sometimes they take off a little bit. But let me tell you something: there ain't nothing like a monkey ball.
There's nothing like a Monkey Ball.
There's nothing like Amusement Vision making a real ass monkey ball for real ass monkey ball fans.
And you know, platformers upset me. Monkey Ball does not upset me in the same way.
No, how could it? Those
Right?
monkeys are just rolling their best.
Look at those sweet baby beans. We want it.
Go bananas, baby!
Pre-order now. Comes out in October. You don't need to pre-order it.
You don't need to
Pre-ordering,
pre-order.
especially a digital copy. Pre-ordering a digital copy.
Don't pre-order a digital
There's
copy.
nothing for you for that. You don't need that.
Yeah.
You don't need to do that.
Don't need to go.
We've talked before about like
Yeah,
don't
just-
pre-order
but
big
like
games.
you don't need to pre-order.
We-
Yeah, it's-
Yep, I had a feeling I wouldn't be able to talk. Yep. Yep.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Say your thing.
We've talked before about the fact that there's no reason to pre-order large games, especially in the digital environment when you're not getting anything for it, because you might end up regretting it.
But Final Fantasy XIV is sold out digitally.
Well, that's because there's too many people playing it.
I want to be one. Should I pre-order digitally? No, absolutely not. And hey, if a game ever tells you it comes with a cloth map in its special edition, go run it in the other direction.
Yep.
Don't buy that special edition.
Don't buy that special edition. Don't do it. I've got one more big piece of news.
A biggie news
It's
for a
business
for a
news.
big slab of a man.
It's business news.
Oh, and we are a business show. You know, we are uniquely qualified. I do have my street MBA.
And I, of course, passed the bar in the state of Virginia. So, I'm qualified to tell you, Netflix, we've been hearing rumors for a while, but has made some big steps to confirm that they are getting into games.
Game streaming is so the hot thing for large corporations right now.
Of course.
If you're a large corporation and you show up and you're not wearing a game streaming, you're not going to be able to sit at the table with the other large corporations.
Yeah, and it's going to be super embarrassing.
It's going to be really embarrassing if you can't sit at a table that Google Stadia can sit at.
So, Bloomberg reported that Netflix hired the Oculus content VP Mike Verdu as vice president of game development at Netflix. It's their first big move towards actually expanding into games. It seems like they're simultaneously moving into game streaming and game development, which is very, very interesting.
It's worked for Amazon. It's worked for Google. It'll work for Netflix. What's important is that all of these companies that don't know anything about games or game development jump headfirst into games and spend just an obscene amount of money to do it. So they really, really, really require a return on their investment within 18 months.
Yeah. They have some kind of partnership with PlayStation. We've seen Netflix put the tip of its proverbial toe into the waters of gaming with documentaries and things like that. So if they can, under the same Netflix subscription price, my like $14 a month or whatever I pay for Netflix, 16 now? I don't know.
17, yeah.
17?
Yeah.
That price keeps getting higher, and they keep looking for more value to offer within that. I'm curious to see if it'll be an additional price. Right now, they have not said that it will. A lot of people are expecting it to be included in the speculation so far. Right?
No.
You don't think so? You think
No.
it's going to be an additional price?
Why is everybody expecting this to be included? That's ridiculous. Here's what I think will happen. I think everybody, when this platform comes out, gets a free 6 months on us. Hey, for the next 6 months, it's free. Hey, it's not free anymore. But you know what? For the next 6 months, we'll make it like an additional $1.99. And then, after the first year, you're paying an additional $5 to $10 a month for game streaming on top of your $17.99.
I see it being like a $5.99 edition. That's my guess.
I want to play all those Netflix originals. Bandersnatch.
They have very much specified that this is not just about interactive television, that they very much do intend to be in games themselves.
Bandersnatch.
The last episode of Kimmy Schmidt.
Kimmy Schmidt. Bandersnatch. this is funny because this is coming at a time where you and I have been talking about this, and I'm like, I think I want to get rid of Netflix. Like, I love the trashy dating shows. I love the occasionally a big budget show comes out, a Netflix original, or they adapt an anime that I really love. But those times are getting fewer and farther between. Every time I see an actual movie make it onto my Netflix suggestions, I pray for it. I wonder if it's lost and if it's going to be okay. Like, oh, just one poor little movie all alone in the cold on Netflix. And
I go to Netflix for my shows.
And I'm just like, I don't know, man.
The Witcher.
Yeah, and it's like, it's becoming a service that I'm thinking about just like pausing and restarting whenever there's a new show.
Anthony, Sexy Beasts.
I know, and we have to watch Sexy Beasts.
And we're only a few days away from Sexy Beasts.
Sexy Beasts, July 24th, one day after Ted Lasso on Apple TV Plus. But that's the other thing. Like, I gotta subscribe to Ted Lasso this month.
Yeah.
Not to Apple Plus. I gotta subscribe to Ted Lasso this month.
Right.
And I think that's the way I'm starting to become with these streaming services. I couldn't imagine once Netflix started streaming years ago.
Right.
Number one, you couldn't have told me that I would have loved Netflix as much as I did when they started streaming. And then after I became so dependent on it, you couldn't have told me that years later I wouldn't fucking care about Netflix very much.
Yeah.
And now I don't very much.
Yeah, Netflix is still pretty highly used for me as somebody who consumes also a lot of the true crime genre. They've got a lot of good content in that. But yeah, I would say a majority of it at this point, I can't remember the last time I watched a movie on Netflix.
Yeah, it's not about movies anymore.
But like,
It's about family.
I don't watch a ton of movies at home. I watch mostly TV shows at home. I don't watch a ton of movies at home unless I'm having like a movie night with somebody or I am like making a thing of it. I know we're out of time.
Listen, we're out of time.
Yeah, but
And we know it. But we want to check in with a story that we broke. Maybe we broke this story, I think.
I think we did.
I think
you're
we're
right.
I think this was an exclusive that we found.
I think this was an It's Too Early exclusive. I think you might be right. Subway recently was accused of its tuna containing no tuna or fish of any kind.
They DNA tested it. Turns out it's 100% not tuna.
Turned out there was no tuna involved in said tuna. And Subway was
It was entirely a nutritional food paste that Subway internally refers to as fresh. So when they say that you're eating fresh, they're not lying.
You're eating free.
You're eating free.
Yeah.
What is this? Oh, yeah, eat fresh. Boink.
Don't ask any questions. Eat
Don't ask
fresh
what's
and
in the
don't
fresh.
ask any questions. Hey, eat fresh.
Hey, eat fresh.
And Subway immediately was like, "Guys, stop! It's totally tuna. What are you what are you saying? Oh my god!
Oh my god, we wouldn't not put tuna in the thing.
It's like it's tuna. You're wrong. You're telling them lies. Stop telling them lies about our tuna."
They weren't just saying it was tuna. They were saying it was wild caught tuna. They were saying they weren't even farming their tuna.
Yeah.
A chain as large as Subway, with food as cheap as Subway, is saying, "Oh, don't worry, this is all wild caught tuna."
Yeah, Mr. Tuna
Yeah.
is out there on the dock of the bay.
Sitting on the
Yeah, yeah.
dock of the bay, washing the tan.
Falling asleep with a little hat down.
Yeah.
Until he feels a little, oh,
Yeah.
it's time to catch the Subway tuna.
And then he takes the giant tuna and he puts it on the back basket of a little boy on a bicycle and he goes, "Quickly!
We need you to get this to the Universal City Walk subway.
As fast as your little legs can carry you, they need to eat free." And the little boy, I'm picturing like a Ghibli movie because that's what it looks like. And he pedals as fast as he can. And by the time he comes back, hopefully Mr. Subway's caught another giant tuna because they need it.
They need it to keep up with the demand. So in response to all of this, Subway has launched a website called SubwayTunaFacts.com. Now, Business Insider does say that this is most definitely a Subway website,
Sure.
immediately, personally, I was like, there's no way this is actually launched by Subway, right?
Yeah, no, of course it is.
Because it's so silly.
Subatuba.
Subway tuna is real tuna. That's right. The truth is, Subway uses wild-caught skipjack tuna regulated by the Food and Drug Administration, a favorite among sub lovers. Our tuna is, and always has been, high quality, premium, and 100% real. Why does this sound like Donald Trump wrote it? The best tuna. The realest tuna.
Only the good tuna. That's how they get their beef. This is look, here it is. They have clip art. Saige, they have friendly and accessible corporate style clip art. It must be true.
Look at the Q&A for me. Commonly asked questions. Has anyone ever tested Subway tuna? Yes, we test our tuna regularly on maths, on geometry,
On
geography.
On how high it bounces.
Yeah.
There's so many
test
tests.
it
On if it fools you.
Yeah. And of course we have to comply with the FDA regulations, but don't take our word for it. Applied Food and Technologies is one of the only labs in the country with the ability to test broken down fish DNA.
They're the only ones with a tunometer. If you want a tunometer, you have to go to Applied Food Labs. Find another tunometer in North America. We dare you. It's just it's just a big box
Yep.
with like a cardboard box with like 2 light bulbs, and like the Subway CEO like drops tuna in the top, and like there's somebody inside that's like and like pushes out paper, and it's like says here very tuna good.
Says here, friff. It says fresh. It prints out just a page that says fresh.
So fresh.
So fresh. The website is fucking hilarious, honest to God. It's deeply, deeply funny the way they try to show it off as just like, yeah, we just go out and we catch a tuna for you, and then you eat the tuna. Like
Subway,
even
your bread is not allowed to be defined as bread
your
in the
bread is a
United Kingdom.
pastry.
In the United Kingdom, it's not allowed to be called bread nutritionally.
Look at this.
And that's the UK. They'll go into a fucking Tesco and come out with a sausage roll that was fucking made by a computer out of chemicals. And they'll call it a sausage roll. They won't call your bread bread.
Look at this. Before adding the sandwich to the line, the Subway sandwich artist mixed the tuna with mayonnaise, a fan favorite. Guests enjoy the 100% real tuna the way that they like it, with their choice of veggies in a freshly made sandwich. You ever seen that happen?
A faceless man work at the Subway? Yes. That's my sleep paralysis demon. He floats over me and he's like, "Ifreef." And I'm like, where does that come from? You don't have a face.
Please send media inquiries to press@subway.com if you want to interview us about our 100% real tuna. The fact that every
Listen.
time they say 100% real, it's like, it makes it that much more suspicious.
All tuna, no pedophiles. That's the Subway promise. Okay?
100% tuna, we promise.
We promise all tuna, 0 pedophiles, Ifreef.
It's like, it's that very suspicious thing of like walking around DashCon and going, hey, I just want you to know, I did not pee in the ball pit. Nobody peed in the ball pit.
Listen, who said
When
anything
they
about
came
peeing
out
in the
on
ball
stage
pit?
and they were like, hey, we're hearing the rumors. We need you to know, no one peed in the ball pit.
Guys, it's wet because we just washed it with ball pit wash. And they
There's-
just pull up a bucket, and it just has written on it
Handwritten.
for ball pit. Look,
If you peel that off, it says ball piss. Pee stored in the balls.
think about it. Hey, that's the news.
Ifreef.
Ifreef, everybody. Hey, let me tell you something. We're about to thank everybody who supported us throughout the show, but I do want to let you know, if you support us via Patreon, You got a little extra bonus coming your way today.
Yes,
Right
you
after this
do.
show.
Right after this. And if you're one of the patrons of a certain tier, you get to play a TTRPG with me on Sunday.
Ooh.
I'm running the game for this month.
Do you know what game you're going to be running?
I do. It is Sexy Vampire Hairdressers.
Oh, hell yeah.
So,
Hell yeah. Very good. If you want to check that out, head to the Pixel Circus Patreon and join.
yeah, you can support us for as little as $3 a month, and at $5 a month, you start getting these extra bonus clips from It's Too Early every week. And hey, thank you to everybody who showed up and spent their morning with us and supported us while we were here.
Yeah, listen, we're about to thank a bunch of people who gave us money and supported us financially during the show, and also followed us. We want you to know we understand that money is a weird and strange and terrible thing.
Sure is.
We make a show so people watch and enjoy it. If
Yes,
you have
we do.
watched and enjoyed the show, you have already made our wildest dreams come true. So thank you for your support, and thank these people for their specific support during this episode today. Mad Cave Studios for the follow, 54 Aqua Snakes for $17.74 donation, Dragon Place 6, Not Raven from Teen Titans. This is a secret identity if I ever heard one.
Right, just like it's 100% real tuna.
Not Raven from Teen Titans. I did not pee in the ball pit.
Right, and there's
Hallsberry.
100% tuna in the sandwich.
Tall Fire God 420, Accelerate, thank you all for the follows. Darth Phileas with the resub for 8 months, thanks for sticking with us. Ronan Monkey with 3126, Floxen of Encheven.
Thank you.
Meyer Frost 0, Rinjob with an N, La Basura, Vertimus, I think that's probably Artemis. Ali Fan Farron, David H. Henrique, Archer Miles, Zeke Rage, thank you all for the follows. Thunder Cabbage with the bits. Tianmar with the resub for 4 months. Thanks for sticking it out, baby. It's also probably like 11 p.m. where Tianmar is right now. Kurt Laurelton with 100 bits. Damon 2684. Sebenki 73. Pixels.
Thank you. Thank you for showing up and supporting. That was very, very cool of you. We love you so much, BBs. Truly, we do this so that you have something to watch in the mornings, and we get to spend it with you. How very, very fortunate. If you all want other ways to support us and you don't want to spend any money on it, you can totally do that.
Yeah.
You can follow us on social media. You can join the Discord and just engage with the community.
Yeah,
That's
thank you.
pretty cool.
Thank you to everybody for sending in all the details and stuff about the Steam Deck that they posted on the
Yes, you did.
on the server yesterday. We used a lot of those when we were reporting today.
And Bertaka Brett for also posting that Subway sandwich story.
There it is. Eat free for Bertaka Brett. You can also tweet about the show when we go live. Share the VODs with people. You know, we put them up here on Twitch and also on the Pixel Circus YouTube. Word of mouth is so important as we're growing this network because we're just a bunch of people in a fucking shed.
Welcome to the fancy shack, baby.
This shit
We
ain't
gotta
real.
Paint this wall, and we're gonna do a painting stream very soon. But paint's not free.
It's
Nor
not-
are
hey.
shelves. So thank you for supporting that shelf goal.
Eat free, baby. Tell your friends.
Do it. And hey, Anthony, where else could they find you on the internet when we're not doing a show?
Oh, shit. On the internet?
Yeah.
Well, normally I'd say, hey, it's Friday. I'm going to be on Failed Save tonight, which is our live actual play Dungeons & Dragons show here on the channel. But we're taking this week off because we're planning something big for next week.
Do you want to tell it? Should we tell him? Oh, we haven't said it online yet.
Are we gonna confirm it?
It's confirmed.
Are we gonna confirm it right here, right now?
We haven't said it at all on the internet yet.
Would you like to say it?
Next week, a week from today, while we are celebrating the marriage between Fessala and Bora, Abria and Xander's characters, we will be playing our first in-person session of Failed Save. It is going to be a special event in a special location. It does not mean we are transitioning to being in person all the time yet, but this episode in particular, we will all be in the same room, dressed up, and celebrating the wedding. We are going to be doing it over at the Scabby Rooster. If you aren't already following Scabby Rooster on Twitch, they are wonderful beans with a very cool location that they are letting us use for it. They make a bunch of excellent tabletop content. Their Outbreak Undead stuff is really, really awesome. They have Total Party Kill that's a lot of fun. Check them out. So join us, Scabby with a C. Join us on Friday, a week from today, where we're playing D&D together in person.
Consider this your save the date. RSVP. Do you
there
want
will also be an official invite.
do you want the chicken or the fish? And they're both 100% fake. We're having Subway cater the entire event.
Anyways, where will you be?
Where
if
will
not
I
here-
be?
There today.
Well, because there is no failed save today, and it is the release of Skyward Sword, over on my Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/Anthony Carboni, we will be playing Skyward Sword HD. Dang.
that's exciting.
Dang.
It's release day.
It's release day, babies.
Check it out with Anthony.
So come play that. I am Anthony Carboni here on Twitch, but I am a Carboni everywhere else. Twitch, you fucking. And also because it's Friday, and you gotta get down on Friday.
Of course, that's a podcast day, isn't it?
It's a podcast day. Go check out We Have Concerns, which is my science comedy podcast with Jeff Kanata. It's a 100% improvised science comedy podcast. Let me tell you, it's a good episode today.
Oh, that's exciting. What's
It's
it
a good episode. We are talking about the meet cute. And is there
Oh.
scientific evidence to support the meet cute, or even the romantic ideal of couples getting together after meeting as strangers? Turns out it's weird. It's weird, and people are weird, and the way we actually get together is weird.
Yeah.
And it's
I
not
bet.
and it's not what you think. So, check that out. Wherever you get podcasts, just look for We Have Concerns, and there we will be.
The meat cute. MEAT. 100% real meat cute.
100% real cute, 100% fake meat.
And you can find me everywhere on the internet at Not Sage. I stream on my channel every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Tomorrow is my 3-year streaming anniversary, so I will be live
Mazel
for
tov.
hours and hours during the day tomorrow. I have an inflatable ball pit, thanks to Grumpy Steen and the live studio audience who sent that to my P.O. box. We're going to be playing some games. We're going to be doing a little bit of throwback gaming from some of the things that I streamed first on my channel. We're going to, maybe, at a certain goal, dive back into How to Date a Magical Girl, one of my favorite games I've ever streamed here. You can also find me this afternoon on Smosh Games. We're doing a 90s themed stream today. I already got my 90s pants on. They were like, hey, should we get costumes? And I was like, my whole closet is a 90s costume.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I mean, the 90s pants are, 90% of it, really. You're almost there.
Nice. I see what you did there.
Mm-hmm.
You can also find me on the D&D channel for the Black Dice Society. And new places very soon.
How, depending on how long Saige streams tomorrow, I mean, you'll probably text me and be like, oh, God, I've been streaming for too long. What are you doing?
Yeah, you come hang out in a ball pit. You want to come hang out in a ball pit?
I mean, I don't like to say no to a ball pit whenever a ball pit's offered.
Right. And then that will also create a little more mystery as to who peed in the ball pit if it's not just me.
Could be anyone.
And then it could be anyone, technically. So maybe we'll have some guests stop by. Who's to say? I'll be live from, right now the time is probably like 11 to 3. 11 to 4. It's going to be a long day stream. And then I'll be on Damsel's Dice and Everything Nice after that, playing princesses. Riley Silverman is our guest. A delightful being. She's coming on to play Ray.
I love her so much.
She's going to be Ray.
Oh, that's very good.
It's going to be very good. That, of course, is a D&D 5e show where we're all Disney princesses.
I was on her Doctor Who podcast.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
All right, you all. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for starting it with us. Take care of yourselves, and we will see you very soon.
Eat free.
Eat free.
Show feet, eat free.
We'll see you on the Patreon.